I'd like to pose a few questions to you before we start this review. And just to keep an eye on, just to think through when you're watching this, are you a brown and yellow suit or a blue and yellow suit Wolverine lover? Are you a collector on a budget, or are you willing to splurge to get a great quality figure? Are you a tall Logan type of person or a small comic accurate Logan type of person? Are you wanting to buy a figure that's going to fit in with your 1/12 scale, or are you just looking for something that's going to look nice on the shelf and stand out? And, well, this might stand out, and probably for a few good reasons. This is the CT Toys Marvel MAFEX Bootleg Brownsuit Wolverine. And I think this could easily pass, spoiler alert, for being an official MAFEX figure. Just because, well, you pose him a few ways, he's quite dynamic, as you're going to see. And unless someone actually asks, oh, is this a real thing or a bootleg? Who's actually going to tell, except for you? So let's actually have a look at the packaging, and I'm really surprised by this. I usually think that AliExpress orders, I've had bad experience with AliExpress in the past. They've been extremely long. I've had delays in my orders. I've had figurines broken. But I just want to say that this was packed perfectly. It was packed in a sort of typical crappy postage bag, and then inside it was bubble wrapped to the brim. You can see from this footage of me trying to unbox it, it took me a while, and it was just bubble wrapped, and I was thinking maybe I could just rip with my hands, and then I finally had to go with the scissors, and even I struggled to get with these scissors. I probably chose the wrong pair. But even the box, the box wasn't damaged. I've seen other reviewers, I've seen comments on, oh, it's a bootleg, be advised that the box is going to be really banged up, it's going to be damaged, it's going to be a mess, right? And there are some sellers who only offer the tray. There are some sellers who do offer the box like I got. And, well, it was in pristine condition, as you can see from this footage. Barely anything. It was even taped up like a Marvel Legends figure. It was taped up like an actual figure. As if someone was going to break in and steal a bootleg. Come on. That's awesome. So let's actually go through the packaging. It is about 7 inches, I think, the packaging in height, if you are one of those collectors who likes to keep the packaging. But why would you keep bootleg packaging? I don't know. Your choice. On the front, we have this Brownsuit Wolverine 138 panel saying 6-inch CT with Wolverine on the front, Wolverine logo. And on the side, we have just a modern take on the Wolverine head sculpt. Or that could be Jim Lee art. And then on the side, we have the CT toy / it's meant to be the actual MAFEX Wolverine prototype. And all that's what they've done. They've just redone that. On the back, we have Wolverine, X-Men, Wolverine Brown comic version action figure number 138. And we have in, I'm assuming Japanese, a bunch of just, legalese. And legalese on the bottom, while also we have a bunch of these CT / MAFEX prototype imagery. So overall, it feels nice to the touch if you are it has this nice sheen, this nice finish on the box, which is nice to the touch. And even unboxed, look at the tray. The tray of the figure, that's insane. And this figure stand, it comes with a figure stand. I didn't even realize it came with a figure stand. Clearly I wasn't paying attention when I bought this. But for a quick little size comparison, here we have the Abomination and the Strong Guy Build-A-Figure Wave Maverick, which I think is one of the most underrated Marvel Legends figures of all time. And you can see the box. Abomination is towering. Wolverine looks really good beside another Weapon X program member, Maverick. And yeah, this is really good to fit in with your Marvel Legends display. In the past, I bought off AliExpress. If you haven't seen my Marvel Legends Iron Spider review, I used in one of my size comparisons this Red Hulk. It's actually a bootleg of the Marvel Legends late 2000s Red Hulk Build-A-Figure. And I unfortunately bought this for $50 years ago. And that was off AliExpress. And I haven't touched them since because I felt ripped off. And I've had other figures that I bought break. And so I didn't want to touch them. Until I've seen the hype of CT figures. And I wanted to try them. And at least get something that I feel comfortable splurging on. Splurging. $15 is called splurging, really. But let's actually have a look at the CT Toys Wolverine Brownsuit. Before looking at Logan on his own, we might as well just look at everything together. It doesn't look like much, really, But for $15, this is great. This is not an official sort of MAFEX stand. This is actually just a cheap stand. I think it's actually going to hold up much better. It is a screw stand, which is really nice. So you can adjust it, tighten it, and it will hold up your figures. Especially this Wolverine, as I'll show you later. But you can see everything here on the desk. So looking at Wolverine now, you can see the face is a little splotchy. The eye is a little unaligned, but really, it's clean most of the way. The yellow you can see, not in this light, but when you get it up close, there are a few different tints of yellow, where there's sort of an orangish yellow and a buttery yellow. So it looks good overall. This is the just stern head sculpt. This is what he came with in the packaging. And I love as well just the dark brown they've gone for. I think it's actually a little darker than the official MAFEX. But you can see as well in the arms, the hair's painted. But you can also see this exposed metal pin system. And MAFEX hides this, but CT doesn't, clearly. I love the red belt. Just with that simple X, it definitely came out quite clean. But you can see across the body, the Brownsuit pattern is pretty clean. But the yellows are differing, right? You've got the orangish yellow and this buttery yellow. On the bottom, you've got the feet, and you can see kind of the metal pins in the legs. And the boots are really clean, quite pointy. Like the masks on Logan, the smiling head and this stern head, they're pointy, right? Even the boots are pointy, but they're not going to get in the way of actual movement. So on the back, it's pretty clean. His butterfly joints, or sort of these filler piece joints, there are seam lines in them. So do be warned that obviously it's going to vary per copy, but mine has some seam lines in these shoulder pieces. When they're more spread out, and when he's actually doing some posing, you can kind of see the filler lines. But apart from that, it's pretty well hidden within the sculpt. So for accessories, we've just seen the stand, right? And the stand's actually going to hold up Wolverine pretty decently. I've just got him in a bugger all pose, just nothing floating up to the heavens, But he's got some really nice claw hands. I will say I really like them. I kind of prefer, though, a Marvel Legends claws, just because they're a bit flimsy and there's less risk of breaking them. Whereas here, because they're such a brittle plastic, though they look really amazing and I love the curvature of them, it's just going to be hard. If they break, they break. That's going to be pretty annoying. He's got two flat-out hands, sort of these open, relaxed hands. Of course, he came with the fists that you have seen already on him, just like in the packaging. And I love the knuckles, how the silver paint has come out really clean, really nice on all three sets of hands. The smiling head is a little messy as well, and I actually think it's the cleanest of the three head sculpts. It is not my favorite. It's definitely the one in the middle for me. My least favorite is this head here, which is the angry / unmasked head. It looks a bit weird. Obviously, they're not really printing at the level of MAFEX, but it does look a bit weird. I wish we kind of got a stern head, and that's even with the official MAFEX release. I wish we got the stern head. But we get this awesome cowl piece as well, which will go on his neck really nicely, as I'll show you later. And I think it's time we look at Logan's articulation. So for articulation, Logan can look up pretty well. His neck can get a little stuck. I think that's just the sculpt itself. He's got really great tilt in the head. It is a weird neck system. It's very thin, so the heads can easily pop off, but that's also a bit of a problem, as the peg can get caught in the heads as well, especially in the smiling head. But the neck is a little stiff, so maybe you want to heat this up before you do anything. He's got great arms, right? These sort of butterfly / filler pieces, they go a really nice way back. And he can do a really nice T-pose as well. Really high, above 90, almost 180. He's got double jointed pinless system. Yeah, pinless. And he's got bicep swivel for full 360. However, they can be squeaky. At least my copy is. He has a diaphragm joint, which allows him to go full 360. He has an ab crunch with that diaphragm. He is also on a sort of ball system, which will bend forward and back, side to side, however you choose to pose him. So his legs, he's got drop-down hips, which is very interesting. There are no thigh cuts on MAFEX figures, which is a real shame. They really need them. He can't do the splits. He can go out a fair bit, but he can't do the splits. He has double-jointed legs. His feet, he has toe articulation. He's got 360 rotation because his feet are on balls. But what's interesting about this figure in particular, compared to the MAFEX official, is that the feet, the boots, have articulation. They can rotate. Unlike the actual official MAFEX figures, which are typically glued in, CT has allowed us to have boot rotation, which is awesome. I think everyone appreciates that. And I want to quickly just show you some footage. I decided to pop one of the arms off and just show you the interior, just what it looks like, how it's this sort of filler piece, which has a bit of a joint of its own, and is on a ball plug, I think, a ball plug. So it looks all right. It's easy to pop out, and you can probably, if you do get a squeaky copy, well, you can easily add some silicone or shock oil. But I want you to hear the actual squeaking of this Wolverine figure, at least in the torso, because you're definitely going to need silicone and shock oil. It's really easy to apply. So just have a listen to this. Hopefully you heard it by now. Let's actually have a look at some reference art before we move on to comparisons. And I think that this CT figure, the Brownsuit is really simple to do, right? You either have an actual belt buckle or you have the X buckle for the X-Men. And I think this looks really good. It's spot on. It definitely reminds me of a mix of John Byrne and Jim Lee artwork. MAFEX has actually been tackling a lot of Jim Lee's 90s X-Men designs with characters like Cyclops in both his X-Factor version 2, blue and white, and his blue and yellows. We've seen Jean Grey Phoenix. We've seen recently Jubilee and Rogue, Psylocke, and blue and yellow Wolverine. And the team is slowly building out at MAFEX. In other words, more action figures for CT to steal. It's now time for size comparisons. First up, we're bringing back Abomination, who is on the Marvel Legends playlist at Sfigurereviews. Go check it out. And we have Maverick, fellow Weapon X candidate here, and one of my favorite Marvel Legends figures, underrated Marvel Legends figure, hands down. Next up, we have the Omega Red from the Sauron Build-A-Figure wave. This is Hasbro's first Omega Red. And we have the Diamond Select, rest in peace, Marvel Select Sabretooth. This is my only Sabretooth, and I think he will look really nice, especially if you want a tall, bulky figure against a smaller, stocky Wolverine. He works great. Next, we have the Rhino from the Spider-Man blister card, and we have Titania from Secret Wars Wave 1, where there was a Brownsuit Wolverine, and I think all three of these look really nice together if you want him to pair off against some other foes. For some feral wolf characters, on the right, we have Wolfsbane, X-Factor Wolfsbane, from the Zabu Build-A-Figure wave in 2024, and we have the Wealth by Night, who is on the Marvel Legends playlist at Sfigurereviews from the Scourge, the Executioner Build-A-Figure wave. For your standard Marvel Legends bodies, Vulcan and Sunfire, here we have Banshee from Mini Comics Wave 1, released last year, 2025, and we have from the X-Men 2019-2020 blister card, orange blister card, we have here Iceman. Next, for the Love Triangle, on the left, we have the Bucky Cap body X-Factor version 2 Cyclops, which is my favorite hero Marvel Legends figure. And we have X-Factor version 1 Jean Grey Marvel Girl. For some recently reviewed Marvel Legends on this channel and your MCU comparison, here we have version 1 Infinity War Iron Spider and the Spider-Man blister card 2026 The Owl, even though he's a Daredevil villain. Keeping with Iron Spider, we're going to keep him here, and we're going to add Capcom Gamerverse 2-pack Captain America. And I think these are Marvel's best-selling, most published characters right here. And these three look awesome together in any story. And even in any version, Spider-Man has to be textured, has to have the web line sculpted, and this Iron Spider looks really good. Even though it's not accurate, really good with this Captain America and this Wolverine. Switching Captain America and Spider-Man, here we have the Maximum Series Spidey and the Secret Wars Wave Cap with the Ultimate Cap shield. And these look really good as well. I don't know, these three look awesome together. We're going to move on to the miscellaneous comparisons. Here we have the Jada Toys M. Bison, the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern from the Mattel DC Multiverse line. From McFarlane's Collector Edition DC Multiverse line, we have Captain Carrot. We have Blocky's Elmo, and coming back from vacation from Star Wars Black Series, Greg, the Carbon Eye Stormtrooper. For my final miscellaneous comparison, I have here the only MAFEX figure in my collection. This is the Batman the Animated Series Season 4 New Batman Adventures Joker. I recently got Nosaka for a really good price. And I think if you scaled up this Wolverine with this Joker, or any MAFEX figure, who's actually going to tell that this is a bootleg unless you actually tell someone, oh, hey, that Wolverine's actually a bootleg called CT Toys Brownsuit Wolverine. Yeah, no one's going to know. Finally, the face-off round. Here we have the Marvel Legends X-Men 97. Wait, hang on. This is the Jada Toys Scooby-Doo Wave Creeper. What the hell are you doing here, man? M. Bison took your place this week. Go away. Go. There we go. There's the X-Men 97 Wolverine from Marvel Legends. One of, if not the best Hasbro Marvel Legends Wolverine that they have released in these past few years. And we're going to compare them. Starting with the claws, and I prefer the CT claws for sure. I definitely think the Marvel Legends, I wish I had that sort of plastic compared to CT because it's going to be more likely that they break because it's a brittle plastic, whereas this is a bit of a bendy plastic. I prefer the shape of the CT, absolutely. I love when they're spiky. I love that curvature. Compared to Legends, it's a bit more animated, it's more rounded. It's not sharp, you need sharp claws. So CT's definitely got that and they look awesome overall. Then we talk about the neck pegs and the cowl pieces. And I have to say, I prefer the CT cowl as well because it sits on the neck much nicer than the Legends cowl here. Because the cowl on the Legends version tends to actually elevate itself and it doesn't sit on the neck as snug as this CT version. Next up, we're talking about the neck system. I prefer the Marvel Legends, this neck peg, which is a standard with majority of their figures, whereas CT's gone for this really thin ball peg system, which is really good where you've got movement in the neck and in the head, basically 3 points of movement in that area. And I do kind of think that the Legends is better because the peg's not going to at least get caught in the spare heads, and it's not a loose fit, it's actually a tight grip. So finally, we got to talk about the head sculpts, the unmasked Logan head sculpts. Yeah, the Legends wins all the way. This is actually the best Logan unmasked head sculpt in all of Hasbro's history. Even though it's X-Men 97, it'll fit in any display. It looks amazing. And it also looks amazing on the CT Toys body. Definitely have to say that the CT head looks like a baby burping. It's not nice at all, and the Legends works every single day. Even them both together looks really good. It looks really nice. And honestly, if you're for aesthetic, they'll both fit in anywhere. As the comparisons with Marvel Legends figures have shown, he'll work anywhere. And even this Legend ones will probably work at a MAFEX display as well. They're the same height at just under 6 inches. They look awesome. And even if you want just a definitive brown suit and a definitive blue suit, that is these figures. Okay, so I want to quickly break down the difference between the CT and the MAFEX in a few minutes, and it's quite simple. The MAFEX stand is clearly different to the CT stand, and I actually prefer the CT stand because my MAFEX stand from the Joker is absolute rubbish and absolutely loose. The screws seem to be easy to tighten on the CT stand. The CT figure compared to the MAFEX, with the CT on the right, the MAFEX on the left, is actually shorter. The skin tones are actually brighter on the CT compared to the MAFEX. I prefer the skin tones and the colouring on the MAFEX than I do the CT. There is cleaner paint on the MAFEX, with the MAFEX head sculpts, especially the left head looking really nice, really clean, and you can kind of see where this orangish hue that we've seen on the CT and how it's been nicely applied a bit better than the bootleg figure I am reviewing. We can also quickly talk about the head sculpts, the unmasked head sculpts. The anime style, that's what MAFEX is, Japanese. And I honestly don't like either of these head sculpts at all. I wish he just came with a stern Wolverine head, stern Logan head. But you can clearly see the MAFEX is much better applied. Teeth and tongue are actually slightly different on the official nicely applied. And the skin tone you can clearly see is that darker tone, whereas the CT is much brighter. I think my unmasked head sculpt was actually worse than these two. God. Okay, and then we have the official MAFEX blue and yellow and the official MAFEX brown suit with the CT. For another bootleg comparison and an official comparison, here we have the House of X Marvel Legends X-Force Wolverine and the bootleg Amazing Yamaguchi Rebel Tech Wolverine. And if you have an official MAFEX or a bootleg MAFEX blue and yellow Wolverine, then you can easily switch out the claws and the head sculpts. It's not going to make a difference, and they look great if you are a customizer, and you can easily paint these up. So what are my thoughts on this CT Toys MAFEX bootleg Brownsuit Wolverine? It feels unfair to rate this as a bootleg, but can it be defined as a bootleg? It doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's improved on the MAFEX. It's shrunken a little bit. It's given it boot swivel. Like I said when comparing this to Joker, who's actually going to tell that this is a bootleg compared to the actual official thing unless someone asks, oh, is this a bootleg? But I think for the price, buyer beware, because you can definitely get different prices on AliExpress. The market fluctuates. So for $15.09 Australian for me, super happy. Decent array of accessories. I love the claws. I love how this looks with other Marvel figures, especially Marvel Legends. Obviously, the quality is different. Obviously, the paint is not as good as the MAFEX. Obviously, I would have liked it darker, but he looks great either way. I would have definitely been happy not to have burping baby head sculpt. But I want to pose to you some questions again that I said at the beginning of this review. Are you a brown and yellow or a blue and yellow Wolverine suit person? Are you a collector on a budget? Are you willing to splurge to get what you deem the best possible version of that character in your mind's eye? Are you here for comic accuracy, for accurate sizing? Or do you not care about the height element at all? Or are you going to buy a figure because you hope it's going to stand out on your shelf? That's what the CT Toys does. Whether it's on a stand or not, he looks awesome. And I don't think you should feel guilty buying a bootleg over the official, because with the rising prices, especially on tariffs and stuff, this is a must-have. Especially for rising costs, and you're getting less and less every time. This has been Sfigurereviews. If you like this review and you really thought I was a great second opinion on possibly urging you to buy this, then subscribe to the channel, give this a like, share the video. I have other videos on the channel, mainly Marvel Legends, because that's what I mainly collect. I don't buy things for the sake of it. I buy things because I really want them, I'm interested, and because they're characters I like. The only thing I'm going to buy for the sake of it is Plastic Man stuff. By liking and subscribing, you're really helping the YouTube algorithm recommend my videos to more collectors like you. So thank you for supporting the channel. This is Sfigurereviews. This has been the CT Toys Brownsuit Wolverine MAFEX Bootleg. Thanks for watching.